number 4, brand new episode, and I gotta say, the kit game from my crew is so strong today.
Thank you.
You guys
Very
all
The dudes are slaying.
look so fire. Do we have a shoe cam?
No, they don't even have the shoe cam ready. They're not ready.
Is
for
Barry here today? Oh, hey.
Oh, hey,
there
look
he
at
is.
that.
Whoa.
They're not even that good. That's too close.
David.
That's way too close.
No, I like
Barry's here.
it.
He was just showing off his,
Just showing off
his name on the back of his polo.
We just derailed this entire
Okay.
A little Easter edition, you know. That's
Love.
That's fantastic.
Light work.
I want a pair of those.
Thank
Light
goodness
work.
we get some actual conversations with players today. It's like we've talked about all this news and stuff unraveling. Today we get Jason Garrett in about an hour, and we get to go in locker room today to catch up with some players, catch up with Robert Quinn for the first time,
Very
hopefully.
true.
But first things first, let's just tip off the show with this big question. Let's get into the big 3. We've got 3 big topics we want to talk about with you guys today. The first one is, how much is the new wave to just ask for a trade and want to say, hey, I want to get out of here? Like, are you guys cool with this? I mean, it's entertaining to say the least.
I think we talked about it earlier this week, is like the NFL is trying to keep up with the NBA now. Like you saw Anthony Davis do this back during the NBA season. NFL's like, we want in on this too. Personally, I'm here for it. Like, yeah, we're showing Antonio Brown. He kind of kicked this whole thing off getting out of Pittsburgh. Maybe you don't want to go as crazy with it as AB, but I dig this. Like, players have so little leverage. You play for so few years. If you're good enough to make it happen, I'm all about it. Go for it.
Players have little leverage, but they have a lot more voice, and here's why. It's because they have so much social media power now. You're seeing it with Antonio Brown. He's posting the YouTube video wiretapping his own coach. Players have a voice now. They can share what they're feeling, and teams are listening. Other teams are listening where they couldn't before.
I agree with you. I mean, younger players are getting smarter as they come into the league, and they're using this social media platform to basically empower themselves and get themselves what they want. I mean, if they feel like they're in a bad situation, instead of just waiting for the organization to act on it, I feel like they're trying to put it in their own hands. And I think we're going to see more and more of this.
I'm curious, like, what the flip side will be. Like, it worked for AB because he went crazy. It worked for Minkah Fitzpatrick because the Dolphins are trying to tank, clearly. What's it going to be like for some of these other guys? Like, not every player that wants one is going to get
Yeah, you got to have some clout to this. I
So
feel like.
you got to have clout, and you got to have a team that's willing to play.
Like, for example, Taco Charlton, who I feel like,
point.
bringing it back to the Cowboys in this situation, nothing's really happening. And you don't know for sure why or what the holdup is, but
Will we be able to hear from him in the locker room today? That's the one I'll be watching.
I hope so.
we're going to
That's the one
try.
I'll be watching.
Question number 2. How much of an impact, well, there is Taco right there, all smiles. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to hear from him today, but
Hope so.
he's doing all he can, taking to social media, doing everything on his own part, trying to vouch for himself.
if somebody wanted to trade for Taco, I feel like that would have happened by now.
Okay,
Just saying.
there you go.
And again, that goes to the point, is you got to have a certain amount of clout to pull these type of things off. Somebody's got to want you first.
Question number 2, as we got the news from Jerry Jones and everyone yesterday that Xavier Woods would be out, how much of an impact, Barry, do you realistically think a rookie, a 6th-round pick, Donovan Wilson, can come in and make?
I think it all comes down to how fast he can pick up Marinelli's system and his playbook. If he can go out there, we've seen in the preseason that he has all the physical attributes to go out there and make plays. You can see right there, he's a rangy safety, and he can also play in the box. So the physical part doesn't bother me at all. It's just, can he pick up his assignments? Can he fit well within his defense and communicate? And I think that'll be the biggest problem, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, this team has such high hopes for him. I mean, 3 interceptions in the preseason. You're talking about that, Barry. Yes, but how does it translate to the regular season? I think it's still going to be the D. Thompson time out there.
Darian Thompson, showing
Darian
love.
Thompson.
Darian Thompson should get first crack at this. I hate to discredit anything Donovan did during the preseason, but it is preseason. It's vanilla schemes. You're kind of just asking guys to go out there and show their athleticism. There's much less game planning on both sides of the ball. I think the coaches want to see how he picks things up in practice before they throw him out there, and I honestly think that's smart. Darian Thompson has a full season of starting experience. Let him get his feet wet. If Donovan Wilson starts to pick things up, maybe we can revisit this conversation down the road.
DTD dubs.
Question number 3 for you, and I expect everyone to have a different answer, but what has impressed you the most about this team so far through a short 2-0 season?
Where do you want to start? Because I mean,
Yeah,
like,
this is impressive.
offense.
That's what I like to hear.
We'll focus on the offense. I mean, first of all, How about third down and red zone? Like, the things that killed this team through the first half of last year, they're converting 60% of their third downs, and they're 4 of 5 in the red zone, 80%.
Red zone is huge.
They've scored touchdowns 4 of the 5 times they've gone down there. That makes such an insane difference. You hate to give all the credit to Kellen Moore because the players are doing it and all that good type of stuff, but man, it looks really good.
Well, I'll give some credit to some of the players then, Dave. I'm going to give credit to the fact that this team is no longer one-dimensional. A lot of times people thought, okay, if Zeke's out there, all you have to worry about is Ezekiel Elliott. No longer the case. Devin from heaven. We're seeing the depth on this offense.
We're going to make that a thing, aren't we?
Everyone a threat, and truly, Dak Prescott is out there making everyone better. Blake Jarwin's in the action. Everyone is getting involved, where years before it was only the running back or wide receiver one.
I think you can go, either way, offense or defense here. I'm going to go the defensive route. I feel as though, I got to.
You're a
former
defensive
player.
guy.
I got to do that. But going here, it's hard to be consistent in the NFL year in and year out. And I can speak with that with Jacksonville. I mean, we were great one year, bad the next year. But this defense so far this year, they've been able to hold teams in the ground and in the pass game. And if they can continue that, it'll be a really impressive season.
Marinelli Madness. It's out there and it's real.
2 straight games where they've scored 5 touchdowns in 5 possessions. That's just unworldly.
If we still did kickoffs and OTs, you could do that for both today. It was so good, Dave. All right, quick break here. When we come back, we went out to the Tostitos Championship Plaza. You guys should come hang out there because we go out there every week to ask the fans a question, and that one is coming up right after this.
You're watching Cowboys! Go Cowboys! Go Cowboys!
Getting fed right here. It's his time of the game to close it out.
Here's Prescott keeping for the touchdown. At the 40, running away. This is amazing. How about this, Cowboys?
To cover for this Wednesday morning here in Frisco, Texas. We went out to the Plaza yesterday here at the Star to catch up with some fans and ask them about Jalen Ramsey because he is definitely the talk of the NFL right now.
You're the Cowboys. Would you trade for Jalen Ramsey?
Of course I would.
Why?
Well, he's a top 10 cornerback, maybe top 5, and he's still on his rookie contract. Why would you not want that?
With Xavier Woods hurt, I think we should seriously consider it. If the price is right for them to look at getting him, I think they ought to consider a trade. Maybe give up second and a third pick to get him. But our secondary is looking pretty good, but, getting someone of that caliber, it might be worth looking at.
For Jalen Ramsey, I would definitely do it because this time the Cowboys are trying to win the season, and he's a really good CB, and it would definitely be a good advantage to have him in the team. Yeah, so I would definitely go for it.
What would you give up for Jalen Ramsey?
Like I said, we need a strong defense, so I would probably give up a first and a fourth.
He's going to be a Patriot anyway, so who cares?
I want to be friends.
That was awesome.
That was my question from earlier is, are we worried about the NBA trend, like super teams forming here with the NFL? Because we all know the team they would go to. But Barry, how talented is Jalen Ramsey? You did play with him, and I know league-wide we just hear him a lot, obviously, but he can play too.
I mean, outside of the leadership and all that stuff, just on the field play, I mean, this guy is one of the most talented corners in the game, if not the best. I mean, he's long, he can run with any receiver in the NFL, he's athletic, and he excels in man-to-man coverage, and those just don't grow on trees out here in the NFL. I mean, he can play zone as well. He understands how offenses try to attack defenses. I mean, he's a standout player for a reason.
Everything you just said is why why I don't understand this conversation for the Cowboys.
He's not getting
the price is going to be astronomical, not just in terms of what it would take to get him out of Jacksonville. You're talking first-round pick, probably more than that. Then you got to turn around and pay him like the best cornerback in football. His last year of his contract is next year. We just saw Ezekiel Elliott force his way into a new deal. I have a feeling Jalen Ramsey might be able to do the same type of thing. You are talking about big draft picks, big money. I just don't see how it makes sense for the Cowboys, not with all the other contracts.
You notice how his name is spelled. We still spell it like Jalen Smith down here.
It's true. We already have a
We
Jalen.
just Cowboys. That's how we spell Jalen. Just
all right.
That was good.
As we're moving into the 2-minute drill, I want to throw a question out to my crew here. And the question is, will the Cowboys continue to overcome their slow starts that they've made?
I think they have to. I mean, the first 2 weeks, you're playing against Washington, you're playing against New York. You really don't have to do. Even this week against Miami, they're sleeper team, whatever. I don't think they need to go and push the pedal that hard. But going into the Saints, it's in the Superdome, I believe, or in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, I believe.
Sure is.
So if you go in there and you give up, 2 early touchdowns, I mean, momentum is a thing in the NFL, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
so
the home field advantage. But this offense has been able to, even going down 7-0 early in the games, they've rattled off 35-3 and 31-7 runs in both games. You got to give it to the offense here, except I'm looking at your defensive guys to just keep it held off. And I think, Lindsay, you should have another bold prediction about holding these running backs.
See, that's I don't worry about the offense that much because, again, 2 different games where they had 5 scoring possessions in a row. It's a long game. It's a 60-minute game. You don't have to score on your first possession. That doesn't matter. But the defense, it is slightly troubling that it's been slow for them. Giants score on their first possession, make it look kind of easy doing so. Washington gets that turnover, goes right down the field for a 7-0 lead. It's not the end of the world, especially against bad teams. They could fall into a 2-score hole against Miami, and it still wouldn't worry me. But again, it's a trend. You got to start faster than that. You got to be a little more focused than that at the outset of these games.
Yeah, and this weekend you won't be seeing Saquon Barkley or Adrian Peterson
Not going to be seeing
or Evan Ingram. The weapons they've had, even though the offenses aren't as strong as a whole, they've had some good playmakers.
Barry, what do you attribute slow starts to? Is it one of those things where the offense is like, wow, it's the defense, or vice versa, or is it just energy level? Like, what is it?
I think it comes down to energy level. I mean, when I was playing, if you can tell if a team started out flat. And luckily, the Cowboys in this situation have been able to just out-talent the other teams. So hopefully they can continue to do that throughout the season, but they'll have a lot tougher tasks
What's
to
the
get under.
telltale sign of a flat team?
Just no energy,
Low?
just coming out just lows. Hey,
Hey, I don't think that'll be a problem. Not to let them off the hook, but Saints and Packers, a little bit bigger of a deal than some of these other teams they've been playing. I think that'll probably help.
All right, great show today, folks. How was the Players Lounge yesterday?
It was awesome, actually.
Yeah?
I mean, Nui did a great job. He doesn't like life, which is it's blasphemy to me. But anyways, the show's going great.
The movie
Life.
He doesn't like
No.
Oh my God.
The movie Life. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence.
Well, that's stupid because it's a fantastic.
Classic. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's
Just making sure we're talking.
Misunderstanding. That's all.
Cool. We've got a full day here at the Star in Frisco, but don't worry, we'll be here first thing Thursday morning at 9:30 to break it all down for you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.